The memory of what had happened on your home planet the day that Thanos had taken you as his daughter after both of your parents were killed, along with half of your home planet's population, go through your head as you stare out into the void of space as the Milano heads to nowhere, where Thor had said that Thanos would go to get the Reality Stone. What Thor had said about Thanos having both the Power Stone and Space Stone, you and Gamora were horrified. You know that Thanos will do anything to get all 6 Infinity Stones. And if that happens, the universe will never be the same. You flick the double-headed knife that Thanos had gave you that day, the blades popping out with a click. You're hoping that you and the others can get to the Collector before Thanos does, but you have a feeling that you won't. If he gets the Reality Stone, then he'll be the most powerful being in the universe. And if he gets the Reality Stone, then all he will have to do is get the Mind Stone, Soul Stone, and Time Stone. Thor had said that Thanos didn't know where the Soul Stone was, but you and Gamora do. And if he gets you and or Gamora, he will do everything in his power to make the two of you tell him where it is. Your thoughts are broken by the voice of Peter calling your name as he enters the room. You're going to ask a favor of him, just in case something goes wrong on Nowhere. You know that he'll disagree and not do it, especially to you, but he has to for the sake of the universe. Do you know if these grenades are the blow-off-your-junk kind or the gas kind? Peter asks as he walks up to where he's standing in front of you. Because I was thinking about putting a couple on my belt right here, he continues, gesturing to his belt. You sigh softly as you sit up in the chair you're currently sitting in, looking up at him. I need to ask a favor. Yeah, sure, he answers, his voice full of curiosity and uncertainty. One way or another, the path we're on leads to Thanos, you say as you get up from your chair and lean against the cool metal of the doorway that leads into the cockpit. Which is what the grenades are for, he replies, which makes you look at him with a really, Peter, look. Sorry, he apologizes. What's the favor? You look away from him again for a second, staring out into space again, hesitant about telling him what you want him to do. But you decide that it's for the best that you tell him. If things go wrong, you say softly, and in the corner of your eye, you see him look at you with confusion on his face. If Thanos gets me, or Gamora, you continue, your voice cracking slightly at the thought. You then turn your head to face him again, looking straight into his blue eyes. I want you to promise me, you whisper softly, that you'll kill me and Gamora. What? Peter asks you as if you're crazy for even suggesting that. You look away from him again, contemplating as to how you'll convince him to kill you and Gamora if something goes wrong. Gamora and I know something he doesn't, you say softly, trying not to look at him as you walk away to the other side of the ship and the other doorway that leads into the cockpit. And if he finds it out, the entire universe could be at risk. You continue as you stand in the doorway, looking out at the stars again. What do you and Gamora know? Peter asks softly. If I tell you, you'd know too, you say, not even turning to look back at him. You hear him walk up to where he's standing next to you, feeling his eyes on you, but you don't turn to face him, because if you do, you might tell him, and you don't want him to get hurt. If it's so important, Peter starts, making you look at him. Shouldn't I? He continues, looking straight into your eye-colored eyes. You shake your head before answering him. Only if you want to die. Why does somebody have to die in this scenario? He asks. You turn your body so that you're facing him fully. You hesitate for a moment, not looking into his eyes. Trust me, and possibly kill me. You say softly as you look up into his eyes again. I mean, I'd like to, he says as he looks down at you. I really would, but you cut him off by covering his mouth with your hand, rolling your eyes slightly as you do. Swear to me, you whisper to him. You shudder for a second before looking up into his eyes again. Swear to me on your mother, You continue, determination in your voice as you stare up at him. Peter doesn't say anything, and you slowly lower your hand from his mouth, waiting for him to answer. He stares into your eye-colored eyes for a few seconds before nodding slightly. Okay. You look down at the ground and feel a tear run down your cheek in relief that he'd agreed to it. You know that he really doesn't want to do it, but in all honesty, he has to if something goes wrong. You feel his finger brush against your cheek, brushing away the tear, making you look up at him. Okay, he whispers to you, nodding his head again. In that moment, you know that if Thanos does get you and Peter kills you, you won't be able to tell him how you really feel about him. Ever since the first mission you went on with him and the others, which was a couple of months after he and the others saved Xandar from Ronan the Accuser, you've had a crush on him. You don't even hesitate to lean up and softly press your lips against his, hoping that he'll kiss you back. And he does, not even a second later, which makes you mentally sigh in relief as you continue to kiss each other softly. The moment between the two of you is ruined by the sound of loud crunching a few moments later. You and Peter slowly let go of each other's lips and turn towards where the loud sound of crunching came from, only to see Drax eating Zarg nuts. Great. If I survive going to nowhere, he's never going to let this down, you think as you sigh softly. Dude, Peter says, how long have you been standing there? An hour, Drax replies. An hour? Peter repeats. You turn to him and give him a skeptical look. Are you serious? I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I become invisible to the eye, Drax answers. Watch. He tells the two of you before he slowly starts moving his hand up towards his mouth to eat the Zarg nut that's currently in his hand. You're eating a Zarg nut, Peter says as the two of you continue to stare at him in disbelief. But my movement was so slow that it's imperceptible, Drax says softly as he continues to think that he's invisible. You and Peter shake your heads at him. No, Peter says skeptically. Drax crunches on the Zarg nut that was in his hands before looking back at you and Peter again. I am sure of this, he says softly. You're about to say something, but Mantis enters the room with a giant smile on her face as she sees that Drax is in the room with you and Peter. Hi, Drax! Drax stands there for a few more seconds before he realizes that you all could see him this whole time. Damn it, he says as he walks out of the room, with Mantis following close behind him. You giggle slightly before turning to Peter again to see that he's staring at you. You smile up at him before leaning forward and pressing a gentle kiss to his cheek before walking out of the room, hoping that you get to nowhere before Thanos does, so that you can be with Peter for as long as you can.